Hello everyone, and welcome to Reading with Mrs. Adams. I'm Mrs. Adams, and today I'm going to read 3 stories and 3 poems all about apples. Let's begin with a poem called 2 Little Apples. I'm going to sign the poem as I recite it, and you can try to sign right along with me. Let's get started. 2 little apples. Way up high in the apple tree, 2 little apples smiled at me. I shook that tree as hard as I could. Down came the apples. Good. That was so much fun. The first story I'm going to read to you, boys and girls, is called The Seasons of Arnold's Apple Tree. It's written and illustrated by Gail Gibbons. I hope you enjoy The Seasons of Arnold's Apple Tree. The Seasons of Arnold's Apple Tree by Gail Gibbons. The Seasons of Arnold's Apple Tree by Gail Gibbons. For Eric. Arnold climbs up high into the branches of the apple tree. He can see far, far away in every direction. This is Arnold's very own secret place. This is Arnold's apple tree. Arnold's tree keeps him very busy all through the year. It is spring. Arnold watches the small buds grow on his apple tree. Some of the buds develop into sweet-smelling apple blossoms. Carefully and quietly, Arnold watches bees collect nectar from the blossoms to make honey. Honeybee and apple blossoms. The honeybee makes honey from the nectar, the sweet juice found in flowers. Arnold makes a swing for his apple tree. He weaves an apple blossom wreath and hangs it from a branch. Arnold picks an armful of apple blossoms and brings it to his family. They make a flower arrangement together. It is summer. Arnold's apple tree has big green leaves that rustle in the wind. Arnold builds a tree house. His apple tree shades him from the hot summer sun. The green leaves shelter him during a summer shower. Arnold watches small apples begin to grow from where the blossoms used to be. They grow bigger, bigger, and bigger. With some of the big green apples, Arnold does a juggling act for his tree friend. It is fall. Arnold's apple tree now has big, red, tasty apples. The green leaves have turned golden. They drift to the ground. Arnold gathers some of the leaves and brings them up to his treehouse to make a soft floor to lie on. Arnold shakes the branches and red apples fall to the ground. He puts them in a basket and takes them home. Arnold and his family make apple pies with apples from Arnold's apple tree. They put the rest of the apples into a cider press and make fresh apple cider. On Halloween Day, Arnold decorates some of the biggest apples. They glow in the moonlight under his tree on Halloween night. It is winter. Snow falls. It is quiet. The branches of Arnold's apple tree are bare. Arnold hangs strings of popcorn and berries on them for the winter birds to eat. He builds a snow fort around the bottom of his tree. Arnold builds a snowman to keep him and his tree company during the winter. The snow melts away. It is spring again. And that's the end of The Seasons of Arnold's Apple Tree by Gail Gibbons. I hope you enjoyed The Seasons of Arnold's Apple Tree by Gail Gibbons. The next poem I'm going to read to you, boys and girls, is called Choice by Leland B. Jacobs. Choice. Oh, apple tree, your arms are spread with apples green and apples red. I'm sure I heard your whispering voice, inviting me to take my choice. Oh, apple tree, I'm glad you said, to take my pick, I've chosen red. And that's by Leland B. Jacobs. The next story I'm going to read to you today, boys and girls, is called An Apple's Life. It's informational text and illustrated with photographs. I hope you enjoy An Apple's Life by Nancy Dickman. An Apple's Life by Nancy Dickman. An Apple's Life by Nancy Dickman. Contents: life cycles, seeds and shoots, becoming a tree, making apples, life cycle of an apple tree, picture glossary, index. Life cycles. All living things have a life cycle. An apple has a life cycle. Inside an apple, there are seeds. The seeds will grow into a new apple tree. The new apple tree will grow apples. The life cycle starts again. Seeds and shoots. An apple seed grows in the ground. Roots grow down from the seed into the ground. Roots. A shoot grows up from the seed. Shoot. Leaves grow from the shoot. Leaves. Becoming a tree. The young tree needs water and sunlight to grow. The young tree grows bigger. The tree grows new leaves in the spring. The tree grows flowers in the spring. Flower. Making apples. A bee comes to feed on a flower. The bee has pollen on it. The pollen helps make new apple seeds grow on the tree. Then an apple starts to grow. When the apples have grown, some fall from the tree. The apple has seeds inside it. Seed. The life cycle starts again. Life cycle of an apple tree. 1. An apple seed grows in the ground. 2. The young tree grows bigger. 3. The flowers grow on the apple tree. 4. The flowers turn into new apples. Picture glossary. Pollen, yellow powder inside a flower. Root, part of a plant that grows underground. Roots take up water for the plant to use. Shoot, small green stem that grows from a seed. And that's the end of An Apple's Life by Nancy Dickman. I really enjoyed learning about an apple's life, and I hope you did too. Our final poem today, boys and girls, is called A Little Apple Seed. Once a little apple seed was planted in the ground. Down came the raindrops, falling all around. Out came the big sun, as bright could be, and that little apple seed grew up to be an apple tree. The last book I'm going to read to you today, boys and girls, is called The Apple Pie Tree. It's written by Zoe Hall and illustrated by Sherry Halpern. I hope you enjoy The Apple Pie Tree. The Apple Pie Tree by Zoe Hall, illustrated by Sherry Halpern. The Apple Pie Tree by Zoe Hall, illustrated by Sherry Halpern. For Ma and her mile-high apple pies. My sister and I have a tree that grows the best part of apple pie. Can you guess what that is? Apples! And every year we watch our apple tree grow. In winter, our apple tree is brown and bare. But in spring, leaves grow on every branch. Look, 2 robins are building a nest in our tree. Tiny pink flower buds appear on the branches. The robins chirp loudly, guarding their eggs. Just when the flower buds open, baby robins break through the eggshells. Now our tree is covered with blossoms, and the baby robins begin to grow feathers. When breezes blow, the petals fall to the ground. Mama and Papa Robin teach their little birds to fly. Some days it rains and the wind blows hard, but our apple tree is strong, and the robins are safe in the branches. Small green apples grow where the blossoms used to be. Soon it is summer. The apples get bigger and bigger. The little robins have grown up, but they visit every day. The branches bend down low. They are covered with big, round apples. Now it is autumn. The apples are red and ready to be picked. We fill our basket to the brim. Mom and Dad help us peel the apples, cut them up, and pile them into a pie shell. Then we sprinkle cinnamon and sugar over the top. Mom puts the pan in the oven. At last, the pie is cooked and ready to be eaten. Our tree has grown an apple pie. It smells so good. And it tastes delicious. There's nothing as good as an apple pie you grew yourself. How bees help our apples grow. Inside each flower are tiny stems, some tipped with yellow pollen and some with sticky tops. Nectar deep inside smells sweet. The bright petals and sweet nectar attract bees. Pollen collects on the bees' bodies. As the bees fly from flower to flower, pollen clings to the sticky tops. This is called pollination. The petals fall off, and the base of the flower begins to swell. This is the beginning of an apple. And that is the end of the apple pie tree. Written by Zoe Hall and illustrated by Sherry Halpern. I hope you enjoyed all of the stories and poems about apples. If you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, just push the little red button. That way you'll get all of the newest videos, stories, and poems from Reading with Mrs. Adams. Until next time, boys and girls, there's one truth I want you all to remember. God loves you so much. So dare to dream the impossible, because all things are possible with God. I love you, and I'll see you next time on Reading with Mrs. Adams. Goodbye.